Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the books I read during the month of August and September. So hi, my name's Talia. I love books, I love bandanas. I'm so glad you're at my channel today. Small disclaimer as we get this video started today, I'm fostering 5 kittens and they are loose in my bedroom right now because they are staying in like my bathroom slash walk-in closet is like their area, but when I am in here and they hear me, they cry and cry and cry. So they are allowed in this room with supervision, but I might have to pause once in a while to correct their actions. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe you'll see a kitten pop in and out. They're pretty darn cute. Definitely recommend fostering kittens. If you haven't done it, it's a pretty neat experience, especially for your kids. Like, we're all having a blast with it. But it does make filming a little challenging. You see I have like this blanket covering my cute chair because they are like little needle nails, sink right into it. So with that being said, let's hop into what I have read the past couple months. Some of these books I have done like full reviews on. So if I've done a full review on it, I'm just gonna mention it. I'm just gonna mention it and move on. I'll put a link to where I give full description of it in the comments, and some I haven't talked about at all on my channel, so I'll obviously spend a little bit more time on those. Okay, let's do it. So yesterday I finished The Six by Lauren Grush, and this book is a newly released nonfiction. It was a NetGalley pick for me. I didn't finish it before it came out. It's already released. I know because I saw it in Costco when I was there the other day. So it is out, available for purchase now. And it's called The Six. It is about the first 6 women astronauts. So like late 70s, early 80s is when women were finally allowed into NASA's space program. It had been an all men industry until then. And I think most of us know about Sally Ride, who was the first American in space, but there was actually 6 women that were part of her class at NASA that were accepted the same time as her and who went on various missions after she did. So this book kind of tells the story of their backgrounds, their lives, how they overcame a ton of adversity being the first women at NASA at a time when everyone was just like, hey, women are supposed to stay home, you know? And that was kind of the mentality, and like, oh no, women could never go into space. They could never handle it. Like, it was kind of that kind of vibes. Were from a lot of their male counterparts at the time, and just kind of how they changed everyone's minds and showed that they could do it too. So talks about their various launches, and at the end, kind of talks about the Challenger explosion, because one of the first 6 women was actually on the Challenger. So kind of goes through that and then the fallout of that, and just man, it was so interesting. It was so good because I hadn't heard of any of these other 5 women. So if you are interested in the space program at all, highly recommend it. It was super interesting, inspiring. I mean, now I think there's still many more men go into space than women, but there are less barriers to entry now, and it was just really really good, really exciting how much progress has been made, and these 6 women kind of like paved the way for women in space exploration. Yeah, really good stuff. So recommend that for sure. Also, I read recently, that I have not talked about on my channel, Go as a River by Shelley Reed. Now, this was recommended to me by Joe over from BookBuds. If you do not follow Joe and Mary's channel, BookBuds, you guys have to. They're so funny. They give great recommendations. You need to follow their channel. But this was a recommendation that Joe did, and for him, this book was like above a 5-star. He was like raving about it. And I was like, well, I need to read that. And I put it on hold in my library, and then I forgot about it, and it took like 4 months to come because it's apparently very popular where I live. It took forever. But finally got it, read it, and I liked it. I will not say I loved it as much as Joe did. It was a really good story, really good writing. You felt completely immersed in the land. It was a little bit sad for me. And it, I mean, it's designed to be a sad story. Like, there's lots of tragedy that takes place. There is a major, major obstacle to overcome. And I feel like I do better with nonfiction that are really sad, because I'm like, this is real life. But when it's like fiction and the author has the opportunity to like make a happier ending, I'm like, I want like a big happiness. I don't know. For me, I was a little bit just kind of sad the whole time. And it's based on true story. So let's back up a minute. It's based on this little town in Colorado that they set up a dam and basically flooded out the town. So this takes place in like the years before this town was flooded out. So you kind of know at the beginning that this is what's going to happen, and we're moving towards that. And then we have our main character, Victoria Nash, who meets this boy who she has this like instant connection with, who's not accepted by her family, and it goes from there. And it's her story after this love takes place, and it does not go well. So yeah, I'll leave it there. It's a beautiful story. I just don't think, for me, it wasn't like above a 5-star, like everyone should read this, this is amazing. I liked it. I think if you like sadder stories, I think you will love this. I think if you like your stories to be a little more like upbeat, and it wasn't like terribly sad. Like, this girl overcome, she persevered, she like did a great job in her life. For me, it just didn't quite do it. You know what I mean? When you're like, I feel like I should love this book, but it just didn't quite do it for me. Something was missing. So take that for what you will. For book club, we actually had our book club meeting last night where we talked about Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And this book was written in the 1930s, I believe. This African-American woman wrote it, and it was actually on the banned book list for like a really long time. Lots of controversy surrounding this book. But now it's like actually come out of the woodwork, and it's on like the top 100 books of the past century list for something, which we were talking about at book club because none of us really liked it. So we were like, you know, is this a book that just kind of like was pushed in for some sort of agenda? We don't really know. But it's about this woman, and she is a Black woman kind of forced into her first marriage by her aunt. Her parents have both passed away, so forced into her first marriage to like have a man to provide for her. And then she leaves that man and moves on to another man, and then she leaves that man, or that man dies or something happens, and she moves on with another man. And it's kind of like this saga of her life. I just didn't love it, and no one else did either. It was kind of like, I mean, it was a decent story, but it was kind of like a soap opera saga, just like from one man to the next. And I didn't find the main character to be particularly likable. Definitely had some lessons in it, like persevering and rising above like what you're like supposed to be by society at that time. We're talking 1930s here, so Black women did not have a lot of power. And I don't know that I can give like an accurate review because I'm not from that time period and not from you know, that era, and haven't had those experiences. But I do know good writing, not so good writing, and I didn't love the style of writing. There was lots of details that just kind of went on and on and on and on and on, and you're like, why do I need to know this? And a lot of the story you were like, well, where is this going? Like, what's important? There was definitely some good moments, some like heartwarming scenes, but I didn't love it. And I will say, I think out of the 7 of us that were at book club last night, only one liked it. And I was kind of one that liked it more than most. Some were like, I hated this book. They were like, I couldn't get through it. The writing was terrible. This was so boring. For me, I thought it was okay. I thought it was an okay story. I listened to it on audiobook. And I think that kind of helped like keep it moving and flowing. I think some of the longer descriptive scenes would have been pretty challenging. So yeah, I think it was just okay. It was fine. As something that's like, hey, stop bumping the camera, cats. I think it was not something to write home about for sure. So There's that one. Okay, I also listened on audiobook to Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I did a full review on both of those books and which one I liked better, so I will link that here for you and leave that there. That was kind of fun. I got the Legends and Lattes from the library, and then I got an advanced copy of Bookshops and Bone Dust because it doesn't release until November. So it was fun to do like a kind of compare and contrast of those two books. So I will leave that up there for you. Okay, I also read Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in the series. The first one is called Vicious, and this was delightful. This is a book where the second one definitely is as good as the first one in the series. I thought it was amazing. Pretty much picks up right where we leave off in the first book. So to give you just like a broad update, there's two main characters who end up being like the enemies, Victor and Eli, and they discover that you can, here, don't chew on that, come here, you can't chew on that. They discover that people can become extraordinary, which means they have like special skills, and they become extraordinary by having like near-death experiences. So they, spoiler alert, become extraordinary, and I won't say how, but then they end up basically becoming like against each other. So it's kind of like superheroes, like there's all these different characters that have like these special qualities, and yeah, I just love it so much. I've talked about Vicious quite a bit on my channel, and I will say that I put off reading Vengeful for a while because I was like, is it gonna be as good? I don't know, but it did not disappoint. It was so good. So if you have read Vicious and are like, should I read Vengeful? Yes, you should. If you're like, should I read that series? Is it as good as Addie LaRue? Super different than Addie LaRue, but I love it equally as much. Like I really love it. So I'm definitely going to be reading some more of V.E. Schwab in the future. Okay, I did a full review on Kinfolk by Sean Dietrich. That book, probably, it's going to be my favorite of the year, I'm pretty sure. Unless something crazy happens. I loved Kinfolk by Sean Dietrich so much. That was an arc as well. I've been getting some good NetGalley stuff lately. Like, NetGalley's been hooking me up. I loved that book. I want to read everything Sean Dietrich has read, so I'll put my review of Kinfolk there. I also finished one of his collections of short stories. So Shaun of the South is what Sean Dietrich kind of goes by, and this is just a collection of short stories that he wrote. He pretty much every day does like an online like blog post that I'm subscribed to, and these are like older ones he's done. Like I think he started doing it like 10 years ago, so I'm sure if you wanted to like just scroll and find these short stories written, you could, but I really liked having them in book format. This is volume 1, I already have volume 2 to read. I put like little tabs in all the ones that I really loved, and there was quite a few, and they're super short because they're super short because they're like blog entries, so they're just like a cute little story. And what I love about Sean Dietrich is he like has the raw sarcasm, says it as it is, like says what he thinks and feels, but puts like a positive spin on things. And he's always like trying to help people, and people send him in like good things that have happened in their life. Like, hey, I saw someone buy someone else groceries, or I saw someone, helping someone across the street, or like helping with a broke down car. And like, it's all just like good positive stuff. Like just reading this just made me feel like there's good in the world, you know what I mean? Which I know there is, but I feel like we can be kind of just inundated with like, oh, there's so much bad, everything's terrible, like we're all going to hell in a handbasket, just like blah. And Sean Dietrich's writing definitely helps you to see past that a little bit. So loved that so much. Kinfolk, you gotta read it. It's amazing. So yeah, I have some more Sean Dietrich planned to read soon. I actually ordered, I had a birthday card from Barnes & Noble that I still hadn't used, and I ended up just going online the other day and just ordering Sean Dietrich books. So I have quite a few more in my collection to read, which I'm really excited about. Okay, for book club last month, so for August, we read What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty, and it was okay. Not my favorite book, by that author. Definitely like Apples to Apples is probably my favorite Moriarty book. But I liked it. It's like our main character is Alice, and she is pregnant with her first child. She's madly in love with her husband, and she wakes up one day in the gym, which she never ever goes to, and she can't remember the past 10 years of her life. And she has 3 children now. She and her husband are getting a divorce, and yeah, she's trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So lots of funny moments for sure. Lots of like angst about like, well, what happened? Why are they getting divorced? What about these kids? Like, what's going on? So I thought it was okay. I feel like a lot of the book is like her trying to figure out what happened, and I feel like one of these friends or like someone could have just sat her down and told her what happened. So that kind of bugged me, because it was like a lot of her trying to fill in the gaps where like people around her knew what happened, you know what I mean? So just tell this poor woman. But then it probably wouldn't have been a very good story. So you know, it is what it is. So it was okay. It was a decent read, had some good book club discussion about it, and that was that. Okay, last book I want to mention is The Secret Diary of Hendrik. And this I read for the Netherlands for my Read Around the World challenge, so I'll put it up there. This is about a guy who lives in a retirement home in the Netherlands and his experience there. He's like writing this diary every day of what goes on. So again, I feel like this video is becoming just like an infomercial, like go to this video, go to this video, but the video's up there. And I did want to do just like a full recap of all the books to have in one place. So there you go. That is everything I read in August and September. I think it was only 10 books total, which is not great for 2 months, but I'm busy. I'm homeschooling. I got 7 cats in my house right now because I got my 2 cats and then the 5 foster kittens. So we're busy around here, you know, and it's fine. It is what it is. I feel like quality over quantity at this point, and I definitely read some quality books. So with that, I will let you go for now. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you take some time today to read a good book or two. And if you are having a bad hair day, just wear a bandana.